2.3 billion people on this planet are Christian, and the birth of Jesus of Nazareth, which took place on Christmas Day 2,000 years ago, is celebrated on this day. Jesus changed the world forever with his teachings. I mean, the world we live in is predominantly Christian. As Louis C.K. said, what year is it? Christians, even though they believe that Jesus is always a presence in their lives, have never actually seen him in person. But what if that changed? What if Jesus were around to witness the society we've become? How would he be received? Would he be proud of us? Would he be ashamed? So what if Jesus were alive today? That's the question we're asking right now on Life's Biggest Questions. Hello and welcome back to Life's Biggest Questions, and happy holidays from everyone at LBQ. By the way, I'm Charlotte Jobre, and if this is your first time here, leave a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on those notifications. And if you want to connect with the creative team behind Life's Biggest Questions, our social media handles are posted in the description. It is believed by most historians and religious people alike that Jesus was in fact a real person who was born in the 1st century. He was a Jewish preacher who was crucified under the command of Pontius Pilate sometime during 20 to 30 CE. First of all, Jesus was not a Christian. He was Jewish, and he looked very Middle Eastern. He was olive-skinned. This directly contradicts the blonde, blue-eyed version of Jesus so many people are familiar with in modern times. It would be, needless to say, a shock if Jesus were alive today. And then there's the question of whether or not people would believe him when he said he was Jesus. 2018 is not the 1st century AD. Most people believed in the supernatural 2,000 years ago. People these days are far more skeptical. But this is Jesus we're talking about. He's not some televangelist. He's the real deal. Jesus would probably start performing miracles to prove he was the Son of God, and start gaining a following. If Jesus were alive today, it's likely that he would use the media to preach his message. In the days of social media, word of a modern-day Jesus would spread very quickly. Needless to say, if Jesus suddenly started performing miracles, there would be video coverage of it because everyone has smartphones. Videos of Jesus' miracles would be posted to YouTube, where he would most certainly go viral. People would dissect every second of these videos, judging the authenticity of Jesus' miracles. It would be a really hard thing to grasp. A real-life Jesus? There's no way. This has to be a hoax. But it's not. Jesus is everything everyone hoped he would be and more. And he proves it to the masses. Plus, he's a pretty chill guy. Soon enough, Jesus would be mainstream. He would be invited to speak on Ellen, Oprah. He would be invited to the White House and to the UN, where he would preach his message. The world is very different now than it was 2,000 years ago, and yet in many ways the world is very similar. Jesus preached about overthrowing an immoral and unjust society where the poor were controlled by a corrupt ruling class. And when you think about it, things haven't really changed all that much in that regard. We still live in a society that is plagued by imbalances between the rich and the poor. There are still 40 million slaves in the modern world. There are still unjust wars. A modern-day Jesus would see that and would try to change it. Jesus said time and time again that he was against violence. There's no doubt in my mind that he would detest how our society glorifies violence in the media, in films, in video games. Jesus was also extremely anti-materialistic. Think about how he would feel about the consumer-driven society we live in today. He said, "Do not store up treasures for yourself on earth and sell everything you have and give it to the poor." This sounds great in hindsight, but it definitely wouldn't be received well by corporations. It's likely that in their own interest and to keep making money, they would try to discredit Jesus and everything he stands for. If Jesus were alive today, he would likely have a lot to say about how the Bible was written. The New Testament was written many years after Jesus lived, and has been changed many times. It's been rewritten to include teachings that contradict the teachings of Jesus. Many have died in Jesus' name since he was alive. People who use the Bible as justification have been wreaking havoc on the world for centuries. The Crusades, wars, slave trades, sexual abuse in the church. It's quite likely that Jesus would have a lot of negative things to say about how people have distorted his teachings for their own personal gain, and that includes the present-day Catholic Church. For this reason, it's quite likely that the present-day Catholic Church might not accept a modern-day Jesus. Which sounds really weird to say, but think about it. Jesus was crucified because he continued to be an issue for Roman authorities. Jesus preached about love and acceptance, which directly contradicts many branches of Christianity. And what about other religions? How would they accept Jesus? If Jesus gained a following in modern day, what does that say about Hinduism or Islam? Or any other religion? Would these people suddenly renounce their religions and become Christian? I would imagine that some religious fanatics would take it upon themselves to try to assassinate Jesus, because his presence directly contradicts what they believe in. Elton John once said in an interview that if Jesus were alive today, he would support gay marriage, because he's all about love and compassion and forgiveness, and trying to bring people together, and that is what the church should be about. And Elton John is technically right. Jesus once said that every human being is precious in the eyes of God, including the poor, the oppressed, and the marginalized. That includes gay people. If Jesus were alive today, it's quite possible he would want to rewrite the Bible so that we have a new religion to follow. One that is less altered by history, one that will bring us together instead of tear us apart. He would tell us to be kind to each other, to help the poor, and to accept one another for who we are because we are all human. We all make mistakes. We all deserve to live life to the fullest. We all deserve to love and be loved. But now I open up the question to you. How do you think Jesus would feel about our modern society? Let us know in those comments. For now, I'm going to wrap up this video by responding to some comments. Julie Pavlovic said, "Why is this in my recommended?" I don't know, Julie. It's probably based on some of the videos you've watched in the past. Why don't you tell me why it's in your recommended? Tessa Geary said, "Watching this channel makes me feel smart." Hey, working for this channel makes me feel smart, so I guess I can see where you're coming from. Timer said, "Remember when this channel once had good questions?" Nope, I don't. Mommy143Love said, "What if all animals talked like humans?" We've actually already answered this question. What if animals could talk? Definitely check it out after you're done this video. Marcus said, "I'm slowly catching up on all the videos I've missed." That might take you a while. We post a video every day, but the playlist that's going to be flashing on your screen in just a few seconds might help you out. We have reached the end of the video. If you want to continue watching LBQ, check out the playlist that is currently flashing on your screen. And on behalf of Life's Biggest Questions, happy holidays to all our wonderful subscribers, and may this season bring you so much happiness and time spent with family and friends. That is it for me, and thanks for watching Life's Biggest Questions.